All right, sports fan, it's time for you and I to have a chat. Cole Sports presents on the daily. Another day, we're Tuesday, but it's also the first day of February. Cole Johnson's on the mic and in front of you on the video screen on the Dailies on Tap, presented by Cole Sports. Man, I've enjoyed doing this for the last month, and gosh, I got more coming, and I hope you enjoy it. VIP, all of this is for you. And so I'm not really addressing this to you per se, but I'm addressing it to those you encounter because I encounter it. It's the sports fan that's what's the word? Oh yeah, toxic. The sports fan that whenever you look at another angle of whatever topic it could be, best team of the year, best team of a decade, best player in a sport, best play ever made, that there's you have issues in terms of trying to get across your viewpoint, and you staunchly are about this viewpoint, except you have others who will simply clown you for whatever opinion you may have. For example, I believe that Tom Brady is not the greatest quarterback to ever play in the game. But I will tell you what the toxic sports fan says when I say this, because that person is tone deaf. Now, am I saying that Tom Brady sucks? Am I saying that he's horrible? Am I saying that he has no right to even be considered even on the Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks in the NFL?
No!
Am I even saying that he doesn't even rate to be considered in the pantheon of greats in football or even in sports?
No!
What I have said is that I really believe that he's great. I've seen greater. And to that, I get clown emojis. In fact, I had a perusal of social media and I mentioned it as such. There was a question that was posed, and the question which was posed was phrased the following way. Quote, is it an open and shut case that Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time? Close quote. Now, I answered that question honestly. I said, yes, it's closed, and Brady is not the greatest of all time. Now, I get asked who it is, and my greatest of all time actually is the person that he watched in the 80s when he was in grammar school and in intermediate school before he began his football career in high school, and that would be Joe Montana. Now, I get the argument. Montana went to 6 less Super Bowls and won 3 less of them. I understand that. But I always counter with this argument with them when they say this. You can't say that 7 rings. He's the greatest champion of all time. There's a difference between most accomplished and greatest. So here is how I go about this approach. If you were to erase the first Sunday in 2008, the first Sunday in 2012, and the first Sunday in 2018, then we can talk about Brady being the greatest quarterback of all time. Why those 3 dates in particular? Those are the 3 Super Bowl losses he incurred. Because the one that I consider to be the best, or one of the 2 best, because I believe Johnny Unitas is another one who you should consider being one of the best as well. Montana was flawless in the biggest of games. Not only did he not lose a game in the Super Bowl, but he didn't even throw an interception in one. So I'm looking at a guy who was perfection on the biggest and grandest stage of them all. And why am I going to penalize someone for not going to that stage that many times? Because it is difficult. to get there. That's why I do tip my cap to Tom Brady. In 22 years, he went to the mountaintop at least for a chance to be at the mountaintop 10 times. That is not easy. I understand that. But I did not see a flawless performance from him when he got to the big dance. I saw it at least 3 different times with Montana. And so it's that. But I get clown emojis, I get more clown emojis, and I get more clown emojis. Like there was a guy that just kept throwing a clown emoji at me, and I basically commented and saying, "Well, thank you for your enlightening analysis." And he and for every clown emoji he would come with, I'd come with a backhanded compliment. Wow, really astute, man. Your limited knowledge is wonderful. He took the hint and stopped doing it because I just looked at him and said, "Well, I'm going to kill him with kindness, literally," and he stopped. Now he may still think that I'm a clown, but that's the problem. That is the ultimate problem. Because people think that Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time, I don't look at them as clowns. I look at them as individuals that have a mind of their own. And if that's what they think, cool. That's not what I think. Because I saw this player play and this player play, and I prefer one over the other. Another example, boxing. So a lot of people love Floyd Mayweather. Now you probably say, well, your argument's about to be blown to bits, Cole, with this. So Floyd Mayweather, 50 professional fights, 50 wins. And great defensive wizard. Wonderful with the defense boxing wise, right? And I can go into the details with it, but I'm not going to on this particular occasion. In my opinion, I have seen other boxers who did it better. I've seen other boxers in his weight class, to me, that was better. And yeah, they took defeats. Marvelous Marvin Hagler for one, Sugar Ray Leonard for another. And that's just in his weight class. Now, I don't even think they are the greatest boxer I've ever seen. That is Muhammad Ali. And all of them have suffered losses. So yes, I get that. But the reason why I prefer those two is because I saw them actually show perseverance. Now, to the Tom Brady argument, yes, Brady showed perseverance, kept coming back, kept coming back, and kept coming back. But so did Montana too, because he was injured in between one of those Super Bowls and another. So seeing these boxers come back from defeat, in the case of Sugar Ray Leonard, it was to Roberto Duran. In the case of Marvin Hagler, it was actually nobody until the last fight he had, which was a loss to Sugar Ray Leonard. But I would say the fight that he had with the John the Beast Mugabe, it was a slugfest. And he went to war with him. He went to war with Roberto Duran 3 years earlier, and he was the victor of both fights. And then there's Muhammad Ali. Took it on the chin to Ken Norton, took it on the chin to Leon Spinks, and took it on the chin to Joe Frazier. He avenged all 3 of those. And that was all after what made him to me the greatest athlete that I've ever seen. Because in his prime, it was ripped because he decided not to be drafted into the army. And so for 3+ years, almost 4 years, he couldn't ply his trade. And this was around the time that he was in the early part of his prime. So to me, that just added to his greatness. But do I think that people are ludicrous for thinking that Mayweather's the best boxer that's ever existed? No, no, I don't. That's their opinion, and I'm cool with that. But I'm not going to clown them for it. I'm not going to say they're stupid or they're idiotic or they're crazy, because they're not. They're sports fans. And the beauty of having these discussions, these tete-a-tetes, is for us to expand our mind, thinking, so this guy thinks this person is better. Why? Okay, well, let me go into why this person thinks this way. Let me study for myself to show myself approved and be better as a sports fan, and in this case, as an analyst. And of course, there's the other big time debate, and that is the greatest basketball player of all time.
Of course.
That, of course, I will not mention one of the names that's in contention. I will mention that name tomorrow. But you have Magic Johnson and Larry Bird and Michael Jordan and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And I have been on record as saying that Jordan is the greatest player I've ever seen in basketball. But there's others who have different opinions. One is Dr. J, who he is on record in saying the greatest basketball player he's ever seen is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You know what? I'm not going to call that man who actually played in the league. I'm not going to call him idiotic. I'm not going to call him stupid. I'm not going to call him crazy. I'm not going to call him out of his mind. I'm going to call him learned because obviously he knows a thing or two about what Kareem did, and he knows a thing or two about what Jordan did because Jordan took a lot of the stuff that Dr. J was doing. So there has to be an enlightenment here. And so throughout the course of time, I said to myself, okay, well, why is it that people are saying that Kareem is that dude? And then as I learned, Kareem is that dude. No one's won more MVPs in the NBA. No one can say that they won three national championships in college and then win 6 in the pros. And no one can say they lost only 2 games in high school along with the 3 national championships and the 6 world titles. Oh, and by the way, when he was in college, the NCAA decided to strip dunking altogether. And the very next year, he wins a national championship. And then it's wrapped in this wonderful bow of he is the author of the most indefensible shot I've ever seen in the history of the sport. So I can see merit as to why people would think he is the best player ever. I don't argue with that. I don't even argue with if some people think that Bill Russell is simply because he has 11 championships. But notice that you have Bill Russell with 11 championships. People never talk about him as the greatest of all time in basketball. You have Brady with 7, and people, because of that, say that he is. I see a fallacy in argument there. I'll address that at another time. But I'm noticing this lack of nuanced conversations that's happening in the sports sphere, and it needs to stop. The shaming needs to stop. The education of a sports fan needs to get stronger, needs to get better. And it needs to get stronger and better now.
Tone deaf.
So if you happen to agree with what I have to say, or if you don't, I want to hear what you have to say because what you say is important to me. Like this video and share it throughout all of your social media community. Comment below because I want to hear what you have to say. And don't forget, subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell to get any and all content that comes from this channel. And there's many on the daily, 2-minute warning upon further review and another thing. And of course, the mothership, the broadcast itself. Thank you, VIP, for making me strive to do a better product for you each and every single day. From all of us here at Cole Sports, I really do hope you have a wonderful day. I am Cole Johnson, and this has been yet another installment of Cole Sports on the Visual and on the Daily.